I have something that I think is very exciting news when it comes to Hedera, and we'll check this out right here. Not too long ago, on December 16th, it was announced that Hedera adopts the Chainlink data standard to accelerate DeFi. Now, DeFi stands for decentralized finance, and tokenized RWA. RWA stands for real world asset, but even besides that, again, RWA adoption. Now, I'm going to get into why I think this is amazing in terms of DeFi and RWA. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this news, even though some people may think that it's kind of old news because, again, it was back in December 16th. Again, the reason why is because not many people really talked about this. And I do believe that the major takeaway from this whole article is Chainlink. Now, as we all know, I'm very bullish on Chainlink. I think it's one of the best projects of all time. And I think the reason why many people didn't talk about this is because they don't really understand just how special Chainlink is. Now, before I get into that, the article does go on to say a bunch of random stuff, which I don't think anyone's going to read the whole thing. I mean, it's a little bit boring, but you know what? I did, and I'll tell you what, I got bored. But again, this is the key takeaway. But even besides that, if you take a look at Chainlink, why do I think it's very special? Because something that is very popular, or something, should I say, that is very well known when it comes to Chainlink, is its decentralized Oracle network. Now, why is this special? It's because if you take a look at it, in Oracle in this case, it's basically a data feed that brings data from off the chain, aka off-chain data, and it brings that data over into the blockchain. Now, you may be thinking, okay, this is a bunch of random macaca, who cares about this? And the reason why this is crucial is because many decentralized applications that are out there as of right now, and many of them that we do love, a lot of them, they can't function properly without off-chain data. So this right here is very crucial when it comes to Chainlink. Not to mention, Chainlink has been able to enable, it's just kind of a little bit of a weird saying, but even besides that, over $8 trillion worth of transactions, which I think is insane. So when you think about Chainlink, this is very special. Adoption is very amazing when it comes to Chainlink, very well known. And also, again, I think that pretty much indicates why it's one of the best projects out there. It has a good use case. I think it's going to be around for a very long time. So when I see something like this and having it being associated with Hedera in a sense, this right here really gets me enthusiastic. And I think that Hedera, it just continues to surprise a lot of people, including myself, because the way you take a look at it is that, yes, it's not the biggest project out there, but in terms of their activity, it just feels like it's one of the best, because a lot of people out there, they seem to think that Hedera is complete caca, but I disagree. Even not too long ago, it was reported that Hedera was top 3 in the world in terms of development activity, which is insane because, again, Hedera is not the biggest project out there, but seeing the third most activity, quite essentially, with a 30-day period, of course, not too long ago, I believe it was around December 19th, but even besides that, if anything, I think showcases just how amazing Hedera is. Now, I want to get into the other aspects of this article. The first being the DeFi aspect, which of course I think is going to be a big narrative. I don't think it's going to be the biggest narrative, but I think it's good enough nonetheless, because the decentralized finance market, aka the DeFi market, it is predicted to be worth over $200 billion by 2030, according to Grandview Research. So this is amazing. Now, you may be thinking, okay, again, it's not such a big market. I totally understand that, but this could very well just be a conservative estimate. We don't know. Not to mention, when you take a look at DeFi projects, some people like to say that, oh yeah, Hedera doesn't have any good DeFi projects. But I think something called Saucer Swap, which I'm very bullish on, by the way, I think that would beg to differ, because allegedly it is the first ever decentralized exchange to launch on Hedera. And again, of course, a decentralized exchange by nature is focused on the DeFi market. So I think this could be huge for the future of Hedera. Now, would I like to see more, or should I say greater, decentralized exchanges pop up in the future on Hedera? Yeah, why not? I think it's healthy competition. But even besides that, I think this is good nonetheless, because Saucer Swap is very amazing. And why not take advantage of Hedera, right? You got to consider how Hedera Hashgraph, a directed acyclic graph, it's just much better than traditional blockchain technology in terms of scalability, security, also data storage. Also, you take a look at in terms of average cost, it just has a lot more benefits. I'm not saying that every developer is going to choose Hedera, but I think it's heading up there, and I think it's very revolutionary nonetheless. And now the second aspect, or should I say actually the third aspect that I want to take a look at, is tokenized RWA adoption. Now, if we take a look at it in simple terms, RWA, again, it stands for real world asset. And the reason why this is so special is because if you take a look at, for instance, RWA tokenization, these are For instance, in the case of RWA tokens, they are digital representations of physical assets on the blockchain, which is very amazing because, for instance, assets can range from real estate, commodities, and art, and even into some cases, financial instruments like bonds and stocks. So if you think about it, this right here, I think, if anything, indicates that Hedera has a very bright future. So again, you take a look at the aspects of DeFi, RWA, which I think is very revolutionary in its own right, not to mention the aspects of Chainlink. I mean, this right here, I think, is quite essentially a perfect storm. I think Hedera has such a bright future ahead, and when people say it's complete caca, yeah, I just disagree with that. That's just my opinion, though. But HBAR at the price of $3, that's still my price target because each and every time I take a look at Hedera, not every day, of course, in terms of the news that pops up, but it just feels like every week or every 1 or 2 weeks, it feels like there's always good news when it comes to Hedera. Other projects out there which, quote unquote, have better adoption, according to many people, they don't really have this. And I get it. Adoption for Hedera isn't going to be the best in the next 6 months to a year because, of course, it's going to take time for people to shift beyond traditional blockchain technology towards a directed acyclic graph, much like Hedera hash graph. But even besides that point, I think it's just a matter of time. And during a fully fledged bull run, typically that's what people care about. They care about anticipated adoption as opposed to current adoption. Because if they cared about current adoption so much, something like BNB or, like a Solana wouldn't really pop off, but they are popping off. Even though the projects that are on them, it just feels like it's a little bit more so in terms of retail focus, especially when it comes to, Solana. If you take a look at the BNB Smart Chain ecosystem, it's great and all, but allegedly it's not really known for its security in a sense. You take a look at, even according to Crypto.com research, slightly over 2% of the crypto hacks that happened back in 2023 actually occurred on there. So yeah, when it comes to Hedera, I just think it's much better than what many people consider the big dogs, but it's going to take time. But I think that this bull run is going to tell all, not more so for the long term in the next 10 to 20 years, but I think in the short term, it's going to indicate just how special Hedera is because I think it's about time it gained that recognition. Keep in mind, HBAR going to the price of $3, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $115 billion. I made a very good call on HBAR, and even despite the pullback, what did I say? I said, hey, it's going to go back up again hypothetically because pullbacks are bound to happen. It is what it is. And I think that the journey when it comes to HBAR, even though it may not be that far from the price of $3, I think that still there's a ways to go. And I think that beyond the price of $1, when it comes to HBAR, the growth could hypothetically be exponential because I think a lot of people are going to FOMO in beyond that because I think they're going to get this confirmation. But for me, I don't need that confirmation. I'm not going to wait for HBAR to go to the price of $1. I'm not saying that I wouldn't acquire any more HBAR at that point. I still would. But even besides that, I've been accumulating for years at this point, and I'm going to continue to hold. I haven't sold anything because I still believe in the future of HBAR. And again, $3 wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, especially when I consider just how special this bull run could be. Take a look at the price of Bitcoin. It's going absolutely ham. Take a look at how there's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, more than ever before in history. I get it. It's not even 10% of the world's population, but still, it's a very massive figure, given some perspective. And I think this bull run could be so amazing. If everyone thought that the 2021 bull run was amazing, even at that time, right, during the peak of that bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. So now we have pretty much double. I think the sky's the limit. I think 2025 is going to really indicate special times for a bunch of altcoins, including HBAR. And that's why I'm staying patient and I'm not giving up. And I think brighter days are ahead. And I'm still accumulating, of course, because I think that the race, there's still ways to go. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.